Joining us for more on both of these cases now, ABC News contributor Channa Lloyd. Channa, a little free legal advice. We can get into these. Thanks for taking the time. So we'll start in Georgia. What happens realistically if Fani Willis is disqualified from the case?
Listen, Phil, that's a win because what it does is we're talking about extreme delay. They have to find another prosecutor who will take the case. That prosecutor has to be brought up to speed. This case has been worked for 2.5 years. That is a lot of information. So the other thing that could happen, too, is if they do find a new prosecutor, they are appointed, they get caught up to speed, they could actually reduce the indictment to it in an attempt to streamline this case. So we could see a lot of changes in this case if we have a new prosecutor appointed.
But whatever happens in the interim, we've been focused on Fani Willis's behavior, not the behavior of the person she's prosecuting. So it's sort of a win in the short term. Let's turn to the classified documents case. Do you think the Supreme Court's decision to hear Trump's immunity claim will have an effect on the case?
You know, Phil, I don't see that having an effect. And the reason is the Supreme Court is looking at immunity while you're a sitting president. By all reports, these documents left the White House after former President Trump was no longer a president. Therefore, that should not stop this case from moving forward.
Anything from the court proceedings today that really stuck out to you?
You know, everything about this has been unusual, Phil.
Right.
You know, looking at this, hearing these closing statements, I mean, the idea that we're having this trial against a district attorney in and of itself is amazing. But what I really saw is that, you know, the court is very careful about impropriety. So we could see this judge just make a determination that the fact that there has been all of these allegations, that there was a relationship, that is enough to have her disqualified. So we really could see the justice system try to stay above the fray.
How difficult do you think it is for Trump as a defendant to balance all these cases with his attorneys, because it is multiple attorneys in multiple cases?
It's a lot of information that the legal teams are dealing with. It's going to be hard for him to get all of this information together. However, the courts will respect other courts' dates. So that's another factor that we're not considering when we talk about delays. If there's one trial going on, he cannot be requested to come to another trial. So we may see additional delays just due to the docket and who dockets their trial first.
Finally, many thought that the former president was going to be spending the entire election season in a courtroom. It's possible none of these trials would actually go ahead of the November election, right?
Absolutely. I mean, when we talk about the Supreme Court decision, if they decide that he has immunity, that entire trial will go to the wayside. You can't prosecute him if that's what the Supreme Court makes a decision on. When we talk about the Fani Willis case, should another prosecutor come in and reduce the indictment, we could be looking at something very short. They may find someone who says, as a matter of fact, we don't find that there should be an indictment. So it's almost like starting from scratch. So we could see a number of these court cases dissipate before the election, depending on how these things play out.
Oh, and so it continues. Channa Lloyd, thanks so much for taking the time. We appreciate it. Always good to see you.
Great to see you, Phil.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.